Sadguru Nannagaru. My guru is Jinnuru Sadguru Nannagaru, a realized spiritual master. He is not in body now. Sadguru Nannagaru is a disciple of Sadguru Ramana Maharshi. Sadguru Nannagaru guided and mentored lakhs of his devotees spread across globally on the Gnana Marga in the spiritual journey of one's life. He travelled various parts of India and abroad and delivered thousands of spiritual discourses which are inspiration to vast number of his devotees even today. Nannagaru's love for his devotees is indescribable. No amount of words can describe it. I am trying to convey Nannagaru's messages in the form of short episodes to the best of my knowledge and ability. This is episode number 7, Avidhya or Ajnanam. How to come out of it. Every one of us has 3 bodies. Sthula Sarira, it is called as gross body. Sukshma Sarira, it is called as subtle body. This is also called as mind. All samskaras are contained in the subtle body. When body dies, Sukshma Sharira does not die and it travels along with us to the next birth. Karana Sharira, it is called as causal body. This is the seed for all samskaras and avidya or ajnanam. Because of this avidya or ajnanam, we get birth after death again and again, unless and until this avidya is completely destroyed, one cannot escape the cycle of births and deaths. What is this avidya? Thinking that we are the body and are separate from God is avidya. Why do we think we are separate from God? Let us say, for example, in the dim light, we perceive a rope to be a snake. We develop fear. The cause for the fear is not snake, but wrong perception. When one can see rope as rope, there is no snake, and the fear that emerges out of wrong perception also disappears. Similarly, sorrow, suffering and fear emerge out of identification with the body. This is a wrong perception. This is avidya. When body identification is gone, sorrow, suffering and fear also disappear. What do we do to annihilate this avidya or ajnanam? Let us look into the following. Puja, japa and dhyana. These increase one's devotion. Emotion is not devotion. The purpose of puja, japa and dhyana is to annihilate the bad tendencies in the mind. Kamam, krodham and bhayam. Desire, lust, anger and fear. Control of mind and senses is part of sadhana. The one who always fears for everything will not be successful even in this material life. Then, how will he be successful in the spiritual journey? Fear is also a thought. Swami Vivekananda's advice to the youth is, be fearless, be fearless, be fearless. Deha vasana, loka vasana, sastra vasana. Let us listen to verse 271 of Viveka Chudamani. Loka vasanaya janto, sastra vasanaya picha, deha vasanaya jnanam, yata vannaiva jayate. Out of these 3 vasanas, deha vasana is very strong. This vasana is coming from various previous births. Lokavasana is a tendency to interfere into the affairs of others unnecessarily, interact with the world as much as is required but not more. The person who has Sastra Vasana is excessively attached to the Sastras and scriptures. He tends to develop ahankara that he is more religious and righteous than others. This ahankara is a bottleneck for such people. Yagnam, Dhanam and Tapas. These are the sadhanas to purify one's mind. Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. These are the three gunas that are inherent in body, mind and senses. These three gunas keep changing in each person. Persons where Rajas and Tamas are dominant, their minds are entangled in the worldly pursuits. They will not be successful in the spiritual journey. People must practice Sattva Guna. The qualities of Sattva Guna are clarity in the mind, emotional calmness, knowledge, wisdom, contentment, compassion and ethical behavior. These qualities are not only essential for harmonious life in this material world, but also they would show way for one's spiritual growth. Sravanam, Mananam and Nididhyasanam. One must listen to Bhagavad Gita, teachings of Sadguru Ramana Maharshi, teachings of Sadguru Nannagaru. One must listen, remember and practice and internalize it and makes it as one's own habit. How? Let us listen to a short story. Arjuna was always skeptical about Karna, how he was more generous than him. Lord Krishna wanted to straighten out this doubt of Arjuna and set out for walk along with Arjuna. Two golden rocks were manifested and Lord Krishna told Arjuna to distribute these two golden rocks to the villages, but on one condition, that is, every bit of golden rock should be distributed and nothing should remain. Arjuna readily agreed and called out all villages to come and stand in the queue. Arjuna started to shovel the rock into bits and pieces. Gold pieces were distributed to the villages. Villagers heaped praises on Arjuna, and Arjuna too was elated at the admiration showered on him. 2 days have passed and the rock has not yet been fully disintegrated. Arjuna finally gave up his pursuit. Then Lord Krishna called Karna and told him to distribute two similar golden rocks that were manifested. Karna too called out all villages. When all villages assembled, he told them that these two golden rocks belonged to them and told them to take as much as they want and walked away from there. The story thus ended. Both Arjuna and Karna had generosity, but the difference is that Arjuna had perception that he was a giver and villages were takers. In the case of Karna, he had not even touched the golden rock. What he got, he asked the villagers to share it among themselves. There was no giver and taker concept. Karna had internalized the act of giving and made it as his habit. The inference of the story is that after Sravanam and Mananam, you must practice it and internalize it and make it as habit. So far, we have seen some aspects of devotion and some aspects of sadhana. Now the question is whether devotion and sadhana alone are good enough for one to come out of Ajnana or Avidhya. The answer is no. What else is required? Let us listen to verse 10 chapter 10 of Bhagavad Gita. Tesham satata yuktanam bhajatam priti purvakam dadami buddhi yogam tam yena mamu upayanti te. Our devotion, our sadhana help us deserve for God's grace. Once we are eligible for God's grace, God would give us a divine knowledge as per verse stated above. With the help of that divine knowledge, we will come out of Avidhya or Ajnanam. We will realize then that we and the God are one and the same. That is realization, that is moksham, and that is oneness. Aham Brahmasmi. Thank you, Sadguru Nannagaru.